Hi, this is John Fleischman with FlashReport.org. We're here in Riverside County, where Karl Rove is out here doing some fundraising for state legislative Republicans. And we had an opportunity to sit down with Karl and conduct an interview, which you're about to watch. It lasts about 8 minutes long. We talk about national politics, so enjoy it. So Karl, welcome to California. We appreciate your being here for an event for State Senator Bill Emerson here at the Morongo Indian Reservation slash Uber gaming facility off of Highway 10.
Not a bad place, incidentally.
Yeah, so here we are. We're just we're less than 24 hours away from the big election. So what are some of your predictions for tomorrow?
We take the House. If you go over the races race by race by race, it looks like 54 to 56. But it smells like a lot bigger. And I suspect we're going to wake up on Wednesday morning with a lot of people who are senior Democrats or entrenched incumbent Democrats who've lost to Republicans because of this enormous wave that is sweeping the country. Senate, I'm sort of an 8 or 9 guy. I don't think we'll take control, but 8 or 9 is a huge accomplishment. Since World War II, the average number of seats won by the out-of-power party has been 3.5. So for us to be able to take better than twice that or almost 3 times that would be extraordinary. And we'll take control in 2012. Governorships, we started the Obama time in office at 22. I think we're going to end tomorrow night at 31, maybe 32.
Which is pretty critical for redistricting.
Pretty critical. In fact, even more important than that is I think we'll have 450 seats gained in state legislatures. And a shift of 107 seats in the right places, like 3 seats in Ohio, 4 seats in Pennsylvania House, 3 seats in the Indiana House.
They make all the difference.
107 seats gives us control, if they're in the right place, control over 190 additional congressional seat redistricting. So, we're gonna end up in places like Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, even in Illinois with the governor having a significant role in redistricting.
So you've been more than involved than just as a kind of a pundit. You've been actually very involved materially in working towards Republican victories tomorrow. Talk to us a little bit about your 527 and those activities and what you've been involved in. You don't have to identify any of the secret donors that the media keeps wanting to harp about.
Exactly. Well, the 527 reports its donors monthly, and all those donors are made public. The 501c4 does not report its donors. We started the 527 first and then realized there were a lot of liberal groups like the League of Conservation Voters, the Sierra Club, Planned Parenthood, Move On, AARP, which were 501c4s and were raising money and spending it either on issue advocacy or express advocacy and never, revealing the donor. So if it was good for them and it worked, we ought to have one on our side. So together we will have, our original goal was to raise $45 million. It's been revealed that we were above, we then set a new target of 52. It's been revealed we've reported over 56. We are well north of that. We'll be playing in a total of 14 Senate races around the country and 30 some odd House races.
Which includes, of course, the Senate race right here in California.
We spent $3 million on television here in California.
This is a big deal for us here in California. We're not used to seeing our Senate races in play. I don't know if you'd want to comment about.
Well, it smelled like a real race right from the beginning because here's an 18 year incumbent in a state like California that tilts blue, and yet she could not get above 50% against at that point virtually unknown Republican opponent. And
she's still not getting over 50% a day out.
Right here at the end, it's still, look, are people going to break in California at the end of the day for somebody who's been there that long and, should have cemented their loyalty a long time ago? That's why I've got, my view is we're going to take 4 seats for certain: North Dakota, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Arkansas. Those are done. Those are already cooked. I think we are likely to take Pennsylvania, Colorado, Nevada, and Illinois, which are all close races, and then that gets us to 8, and then we have West Virginia, Washington State, California, which I think we can take 2. You can make a case for taking all 3, but we take 2 out of 3, and we take the Senate.
So we'll just keep our fingers crossed because clearly, I mean, maybe you can explain this a little bit, but tactically, if you can and strategically, if you control the Senate, you really control the agenda, and you could cause a lot of those Democrats that are up in 2 years to have to cast some awkward votes.
Well, that's right, but look, right off the bat, if we take control of the House, it's going to be awkward for the Senate, because the Republicans in the House can pass a positive agenda. They can not only say we're stopping the bad things, but we can go do things like pass conservative reforms on health care, or we can schedule a vote every month on something that has to do with spending. And there are 24 Democrats and 9 Republicans up in 2012 in the Senate. And the Democrats up in the Senate include from states like Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Missouri, Louisiana, Virginia, and a lot of the industrial Midwest. And particularly the states like Ohio and Michigan and Pennsylvania that are going to have Republican governors, it's going to be a very strong contrast and the potential of a very strong challenge. And even if President Obama runs for re-election, that's no guarantee of winning seats. A president, when he runs for re-election, only twice in American history, once for the Republicans, once for the Democrats, has when a president run for re-election gained seats in the House and Senate, under FDR and under Bush. And I suspect, what generally happens is you make some gains in one house and losses in the other, or you lose in both houses. And because it's a post-redistricting presidential election, and we have this odd anomaly of so many red state Democrats up, I suspect we're going to see, regardless of the outcome of the presidential election, gains for the Republicans in both the House and Senate as well.
Interesting. Hey, we have time for one last bonus question.
Bonus question.
Today on Politico.com, one of the big cover stories was kind of like, after the election, Republicans are going to have to circle the wagons and excise Sarah Palin from the party. And
is that? First of all, I'm a little distrustful of things that are
written by Politico and reporters,
and based on anonymous quotes. Look, here's what my view is. I think this is going to be an unusual presidential contest. Everybody is going to be in the blocks at the same starting line. This is not like, Bush has got the brand name because his dad was president, or Reagan ran in 76 or McCain ran in 2000, therefore they're the front runner, or Bob Dole's been around enough, he's run once before, he deserves to have it. Everybody's going to be in the starting blocks at the same line. And each one of them is going to have strengths, and each one of them is going to have challenges, and how they magnify those strengths over the course of 2011 and mollify or overcome the challenges is going to determine to a big extent whether or not they're a player. And every one of them is then going to have 3 tasks. They're going to have to provide a compelling narrative. Why should Obama go, and why should it be them, and what's their vision for America? The second thing is that they're going to have to, in my opinion, by their actions and by implication, demonstrate they have the strength, the decision making, the ability to attract good people around them that causes people to say, I think that person could be president. And finally, they're going to have to unify the party. It strikes me that the big players at the end of this drama who are going to be serious in the primaries in 2012 are going to demonstrate over 2011 a message that allows people to say, well, they can pull us all together as a party and attract people who are independents and Democrats. And we've seen this model before. We saw it with Ronald Reagan. I mean, when we said Reagan Democrats, we were not, casting aspersions. We were complimenting people who, by him having a compelling narrative and demonstrating by being the governor of California and, through his radio commentaries and through his campaign activities, that he had what it took. And then he was able to, have a message that unified wide swatches of the party. Now, at the end of the day, the people are going to end up voting by their money, by their public support, and by their actual ballots on who meets those tests. It's not going to be some either group of party leaders, unnamed party leaders, K Street crowd, or even the pundits who are the people who really want to be out there saying...
You mean you don't get to pick the president?
Well, when I say pundits, I'm talking about liberal.
The real,
okay. I'm talking about the guys who write for the news.
You're ready to play your role.
But, at the end of the day, they get to decide. And the idea that somehow or another, I haven't read the article, I've just read the summary of it and saw it on television, is that somehow or another people are going to jump up and be able to say, this person or that person can't be a candidate, is just ludicrous. That's just not how it happens.
Right. Hey, Karl, thanks very much for sitting down with the Flash Report.
I'm honored to be with the man. The man.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope that you enjoyed this interview with Karl Rove, and I hope that you will continue to visit FlashReport.org for the latest on what's going on in California politics, whether it's in Sacramento, Washington, or when Sacramento or Washington are somewhere here in the Golden State. Thank you very much.